My name is Daniele Ehrlich. I work for the European Commission Joint Research Center. This presentation is about the global human settlement layers. The settlement layers are open source data produced by the GEO Human Planet Initiative and provide information on global built-up, population density, and settlements. This presentation is to inform that the settlements layers and related software and documents can now be accessed online from the GEO Knowledge Hub. A few words on the Human Planet Initiative first. The initiative is coordinated by two leading institutions, the Joint Research Center and the Center for International Science Network, hosted by Columbia University. Martino Pesaresi and Dr. Robert Chen are the two co-leads. There are a number of research, policy, and user institutions that are part of this initiative and that are essential to developing the datasets as well as to designing datasets that meet the expectations of the users. The overall aim of the Human Planet Initiative is to fulfill the demand for data on human presence on planet Earth through mapping of settlement patterns and processes. We break this into three objectives. The first objective is mapping human presence globally by sizing the built environment and the population within settlements. The second objective is to help to understand human activities and their impact on the local, regional, and global environment. The third objective is to assess the risks and the impacts of natural hazards on societies. We introduce now the three global human settlement layers. This slide shows the global built-up layer, representing the global built environment. It is available for four epochs, 1975, 1990, 2000, and 2015. The built-up layers are produced by processing data from satellite image archives using artificial intelligence. The first product is a binary built-up area map that is then processed into a spatial grid built-up map. The spatial grid records the percentage of built-up within single grid cells. The cells contain continuous built-up area estimates ranging from 0 to 100. By combining the built-up from different epochs, one can visualize the location and size of cities and settlements, as well as the growth of cities and settlements. The image to the right shows the colors red, orange, yellow, and white used to represent respectively the epochs 1975, 1990, 2000, and 2015. That information is of relevance for a number of users, including urban and regional planners, and key to the new urban agenda. This slide shows the population settlement layers that are also available for the epochs 1975, 1990, 2000, and 2015. The population settlement layers are produced by combining census data available at coarse administrative units with finer scale information derived from the built-up settlement layer. Technically speaking, the population settlement layer is also a spatial grid with population counts for each grid cell. One can see the concentration of people in the world with the highest concentration on some large cities. The population density is used in a great variety of applications. It is used operational in disaster alert systems, emergency response systems, and for example, in the global wildfire information system. The settlement model are generated using the degree of urbanization methodology that was recently endorsed by the UN Statistical Commission as a way to generate standardized urbanization statistics worldwide. The settlement model partitions the built environment into settlement types such as dense urban areas that typically include cities, semi-dense urban areas that typically include towns and villages, and low-density settlements typically found in rural areas. The settlement model is also available for the epochs 1975, 1990, 2000, and 2015. The unique feature of the settlement models are the spatial boundaries of settlements used to size consistently all urban centers. The settlement model is used, among other things, to implement the new urban agenda and to measure sustainable development indicators. The settlement layers were originally developed to address a shortage of global population and built-up data for operational use in crisis management. Today, the layers are used to generate exposure to hazards and are key data sets in a number of information services. For example, the Copernicus Emergency Mapping Service, the Global Wildfire Information System, and the Global Disaster and Coordination System. The Global Flood Alert System and the Drought Toolkit also use the settlement layers to generate flood and drought alerts. Settlement layers have also been used to assess exposure to hazards in low elevated coastal areas. The three settlement layers are part of the same lineage and are therefore consistent among each other. That consistency has a value in itself, and it is indispensable to compute, for example, the land use efficiency indicator for SDG 11 that requires all three types of information. The settlement layers are also referred to as essential societal variables, as they are used to addressing a number of societal benefit areas. For example, they are used to generate urbanization statistics and used in OECD policy reports. They are used to estimate global emissions broken down at the settlement scale. And the variables feature also in regional studies, including the Arctic, and are considered for use in GEO Mountain. The Atlas 2020 provides a short description of over 30 case studies. The datasets can now be accessed also through the GEO Knowledge Hub by typing HPI or GHSL in the search window. The snapshot provides an example and the listing of the GHSL resources you can access. By clicking on Dataset, you filter the search only for the datasets. You can also access the software tools that are used to generate the settlement layers. For example, by clicking on Tools, you get the Population to Grid tool that allows to generating the population density grids, the Masada tool that allows to extract built-up information from satellite imagery, and the GHS to degree of urbanization tool used to generate the settlement model. The GHSL knowledge package also lists documents labeled based on the nature of the publication, including scientific publications that describe the science that underpins the datasets, technical notes that summarize the technical characteristics of the datasets, software documentation required to operate the software tools mentioned earlier. This was a short introduction to accessing the GHSL knowledge package from the GEO Knowledge Hub and a short overview of the settlement layers and their use. Thank you for your attention, and we are happy to answer the questions that you may have. You can also forward the question via email to the address on this slide. Thank you again.